I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I've heard it speculated that throughout the whole Drake and Kendrick shit, that Game sided up with Drake versus Kendrick. I know he definitely stayed friendly toward Drake, but I would just slide through the YouTube streets, right? And Chick Smooth had a title that was suggesting that Game has really made it clear that he on Drake's side, like trolling on behalf of Drake's success currently. And that's just what I gather from the title and the thumbnail. Not sure that's the exact premise of this video, but we finna check it out with no further ado and see what Chick Smooth say the Game and Drake and them have been up to. But has it been confirmed that Game shows up? Let me know in the comments if we don't figure it out right here in this video.
Oh boy, here we go, you guys. The first week numbers are in for Drake's albums that he released last week. Now, after what feels like damn near 2 years of promotion for this album, a lot of people had very high hopes for this album. People also had different expectations for what they wanted to hear from this Drake album. Some people wanted to hear him rap. Some people wanted to hear him get back to the club hits. Meanwhile, other people wanted him to get back to the Drake that we know. There was also people that said, yo, we do not want to hear you diss Kendrick or anybody. Drake actually surprised everybody by dropping 3 new albums last week: Iceman, Maid of Honor, and also Habibti. Now, let's get right into it, you guys. Iceman sold 460K first week. Habibti sold 114K first week. And Maid of Honor sold 109K first week. Now, Drake also becomes the first rapper to debut 3 albums in the top 3 Billboard positions. And he also broke his tie with Jay-Z for the most #1 rap albums, which I'm sure he's probably going to enjoy after dissing Jay-Z on the album. Now, before we get into whether or not this is a win for Drake, let's actually take a look at the first week numbers for some previous Drake albums.
Definitely awesome. It's great. However, it's negated in the original core roots of hip hop because you sued after getting this. So all this is like, so what? Okay, you're a guy that did that. Great. I mean, clap, clap, applause. Still on that gutter grimy level, he gets no respect.
Views that dropped in 2016 was about 1 million first week. Scorpion sold 732. Nothing Was the Same sold 658. Take Care sold 631. CLB sold around 600,000. Thank Me Later sold around 450. Now, these are numbers for Drake's first week solo albums. So, as you guys can see, in terms of Drake's solo albums in the past, Iceman sits right above Thank Me Later. Now, if you want to get fancy with it and combine all 3 numbers from all 3 albums, it's going to sit right under Scorpion with 680K units. Now, I know everybody's going to have their own opinions and also expectations for what they thought this Iceman album was going to sell. Me personally, if you're Drake, you got to be happy with these numbers. I'm not sure what number Drake and his team were expecting first week, but you got to imagine it's at least around 500K units. With everything you got going on with your label, the lawsuit, certain fans not listening to you anymore, you got to be happy with 460K. It's been 3 years since a rapper sold over 400K units. And that
is that a dress? It looks a lot like a dress, or is it a jumpsuit?
was Travis Scott back in 2023 with Utopia. So if you're doing 460K without any physicals and also putting out 2 other albums that could potentially take away the steam from the first one, I would not be too mad at 460K. Now, the Game who everybody thought might end up on this Iceman album, he actually took shots at somebody. And I'm going to let you guys figure that one out in the comments below. The Game reacted to Drake's first week numbers. He said, yo, I remember who said what about who when they thought it was what it wasn't. AKA somebody lied.
Probably getting at Rick Ross because I remember he dissed Rick Ross when all this shit stirred up too.
Saying Drake wasn't going to do numbers anymore. Now, I had to weigh in with the people. Make sure you guys go follow me on Instagram at Chick Smooth. I asked people if this was a big L or big W. My guy Edwin said big W because Maid of Honor will start picking up now, especially when we go into the 101 days of summer this weekend. Somebody else said, I personally feel like it's an L, only because of the 2-year rollout with 3 albums. Dude should have did a mill. Somebody else said, I'm sorry to say this, brother, but this is an L. He fell off in the hip-hop industry. I'm sorry. And I also checked in with one of the biggest Drake fans out there, and here's what he said.
All right, yo, we got my guy Zay here.
one of the biggest OVO stands out there.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Fan of music, but Drake, Drake's the GOAT, though.
Aubrey's Angels right here, man. My God. Yo,
Angels.
First week numbers is out.
460,000.
460.
460. Wait, what'd your boy Kendrick do?
Yo, we're not talking about that, man. Yo, why do y'all love bigging up Kendrick, dog?
That's the L, the fact that K-Dot name coming up, bro. It's like now Drake, this great guy's legacy is forever attached to K-Dot. That's the L part of it.
What's your boy?
First week, Iceman.
Right? I think he did 120 on the other two each.
Yeah. How we feeling about the 460 though? Is that a big W or is that a big L? Talk to me.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a big W because ain't nobody doing those numbers. But that's like the mid-range for Drake. I'm proud of that number for how everything went. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? 2 years, quiet-ish, quiet-ish.
Sexy songs for you came out.
Huh?
Sexy songs came out.
Yeah, but quiet-ish. It wasn't doing, like, we can all admit it wasn't really doing too much noise.
Well, if we're talking solo albums, then yeah.
But yeah, he's it ain't really been the normal 2 years that we would get from him.
Mm-hmm.
And post beef. I think it's a win, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, he outsold. You know what I'm saying? He's got he had 40 spots on the charts.
Yeah,
something like that.
You know what I mean? That's
if you
name somebody else who did that.
If you went straight to them points, it would have resonated better. When you first thing out your mouth, what did Kendrick do? That wasn't a good look.
Could you let us know how many records that you liked on Iceman?
I have to say it's probably like 7 favorites, 6 to 7 favorites.
So that's 6 out of what, like 18 records?
Something like that. I mean, the other ones are cool. I won't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. It's definitely a little too specific on Kendrick and the whole beef stuff, but he's got like 7 good ones though.
Okay.
They say that's living rent free in somebody's head. Yeah, now the conversation is dead. It's an L on that level. That's what I was stating in the beginning. Sure, those are great pop produced artist numbers on that level, but in reflection or in regards to how it reflects with K-Dot, the fact that K-Dot is mentioned not only by Drake, like his #1 fan just said, but also by that fan as soon as the album came up, K-Dot get the dub.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, guys. There you have it, man. Listen, man, you guys get in the comments below.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much more to say about that one, bro. If K-Dot name wasn't coming up at the primary premiere moments that you're talking about the success of this project, you might have an argument. But the fact that it is what it is.
Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. Get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.